right, students, here we go. We're going to talk about complementary and supplementary angles today. First of all, complementary and supplementary angles are angle relationships. They have to do with each other. So first we're going to talk about complementary angles. Two angles that would add to be 90 degrees are called complementary. So say adds to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are two angles whose sum, or they add up to 180 degrees. So we'll say adds to 180 degrees. We're going to be using these complementary and supplementary angle ideas in our problem solving today. First of all, complementary angles are, of course, they add to be 90 degrees. So if we're asked to find a complement, or we're asked to find the complementary angle of another angle, we have to be thinking, for example, like 32. 32 plus what would be 90 degrees? So if we say, well, let's go ahead and add 58. 32 plus 58 is 90 degrees. So the complementary angle to 32 would be 58 degrees. In the same idea, we can use that in a graphic demonstration. I have a graphic here for you, and we know that the box here notation means that this is 90 degrees. So the rest of this angle formation is also 90 degrees, because together they would make 180 degrees, which would relate back to supplementary angles as well. So we got to think, well, if this part is 90, taking up 90 degrees here, how much more for this section if it is all 90? So if we take away, another way to think about it would be to take away 90 degrees minus the 25 that we're using, and we'd say 65 degrees. So that's basically it on complementary angles. We're going to use those again here in a second. Back to supplementary angles for a second. Supplementary is indicating that they add to be 180 degrees. So we're thinking, well, for example, 47. What's the supplementary angle with 47 that would add to be 180 degrees? So if we throw in 133 degrees, 137 plus 133 plus 47 would be 180 degrees. So therefore we know 47 and 133 are supplementary angles. To our graphic demonstration, if we know that the whole straight line adds up to be 180 degrees on either side, specifically on the sort of top side here, we'll know that 135 plus our missing angle is 180 degrees. So if we put in here 45 plus 135 would be 180. You could also look at it as a subtraction method of saying 180 degrees minus 135 degrees is 45 degrees. Now we're going to use this in some problem solving. Set this to the side here. And in our problem solving, we'll be looking at related angles formed by intersecting lines. So I've drawn a graphic here, and this graphic is going to be representing a problem like you might solve in our practice, like you might see. And we're missing three angles. We know this angle. Put the illustration of the box there. We know that that means 90 degrees. So go ahead and label that. I wanted to talk about complementary angles, supplementary angles, as well as in this case vertical angles. Now vertical angles are angles that are made up by the same lines, and they share a vertex, but they're actually across from each other. So angle A and angle C would be vertical angles. Vertical angles are what we call congruent, or the same measure. So in this case, whatever I get for A, I'm going to also get for C. Let's go back to supplementary angles real quick. Supplementary angles, I see that 140 is going to be supplementary with either A or C, and in turn proving that vertical angles would be the same measure. So if I take 140 away from 180, I find that that is, in fact, 40 degrees. So angle C is 40 degrees, as well as angle A is 40 degrees. Now, knowing that there's 90 degrees taken up here, and this line would also add up with 90 degrees on this side to make your 180. So essentially, I'm saying that A and B, angle A and B, are complementary angles. So if I know that angle A is 40 degrees, excuse me, if I know that angle A is 40 degrees, then I know that angle B would add up to be 90 with angle A. So if we put in 50 there, or to prove it, 90 minus 40 equals 50. I'd agree with that. So angle B is 50 degrees. And that's how you're going to be using complementary, supplementary, and even possibly vertical angles to solve. Thanks for watching.